Let me make sure I got my shit right. Make sure my shit looks alright for the camera, for everybody. Check. Justice 1. Perpetrators, evildoers, 0. What I want to talk about this time is this police officer from Oklahoma City that's holds a little special place in my heart. So I spent some time out there, really cool place. But unfortunately, they had this cop, the scumbag cop out there that was going around preying on weak women. And what I mean by weak women is he was preying on women that had previous run-ins with the law who were majority black.
A jury found Daniel Holtzclaw guilty on 18 counts. They recommended he be sentenced to a total of 263 years behind bars.
We're going to ask the judge to make sure that this defendant never sees the light of day.
Last year, the state of Oklahoma charged Holtzclaw with 36 counts of felony rape, sexual battery, indecent exposure, forcible oral sodomy, and other charges after 13 African-American women claimed he assaulted them while he was on duty. All of them testified in court. Holtzclaw is scheduled to be sentenced next month. For Newsy, I'm Jay Struberg.
He would go after black women who, let's say, for instance, had like a methamphetamine charge or an assault charge or something, and he would coerce them. He would basically extort them and do all kinds of stuff. He would say, for instance, hey, I can get your record clean if you suck my dick right now, or let me fuck you and I can get your record clean. Obviously he didn't mean any of it, and he didn't care about that because he did this to at least 13 women on 13 different women. He is guilty on 18 of 36 counts he was facing, including 4 counts of first-degree rape. Now that's just the basics. Now the craziest part about this is that it goes back to what I always talk about with the inherent racism that goes on, and like the inherent prejudices that we all have that we need to be protected from. Women and non-whites, people who are not a part of the structure, to a certain extent, we have to fight for ourselves to get that protection. I'm not talking about the government giving us protection in the form of whatever. I'm talking about we need to protect ourselves, whatever that means. But we need to understand that because there is an inherent bias in the way things go on. This guy went out there purposefully, like with intent, to go after black women and rape them and force them to perform sexual acts on him because he knew they were black. He knew that they had previous run-in with the law, and he knew that people would not trust them. They would not trust their testimony. But unfortunately for him, he's guilty, and an all-white peer. His jury was all white peers, and they laid down the verdict, and they put this guy away, I believe, for 236 years. Now that's some motherfucking justice for your ass, right? Now my mom always told me, man, she's like, don't write a check with your mouth that your ass can't cash, right? This dude's gonna be cashing a lot of checks with his ass in prison, man. When the judge was reading all the stuff off, this guy was like crying. He was weeping, man. He was weeping. Like, at least if you're gonna go ahead and be a scumbag and be just a disgusting human being like that, at least man up to it. At least. But he couldn't even do that, man. I mean, this dude. So this article, I want to read you some excerpts from this article by Vice. It says, Vice says, the case appears to be a particularly egregious and overt example of the way police manipulate their positions of power to take advantage of vulnerable minority populations. So that's what we're talking about, man. When we talk about Black Lives Matter, we're talking about vulnerable populations. They put it so succinct in such like few words, and they put it all together. That's what we're asking for, man. We're like black people. We're asking to not be preyed on by the government, to not be preyed on by institutions, by corporations, but before we can ask that as black people, we as black people have to change ourselves, and we have to change the things that we put energy into. We have to change, how we spend our money and what we choose to become involved in. We have to change ourselves first, like not just metaphorically or because it sounds good philosophically, but seriously, like we're not doing good for ourselves right now. So I'm gonna leave that there. Let me know what you guys think. I'll put a link to the article below. Now, if you guys like this video, like it. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. Either way, you're giving me good engagement, so I appreciate that. You know, YouTube doesn't work off ratings, so whatever.